I'd like to say good morning, St. Louis. I want to just take just a few minutes to discuss what I believe. What I believe. I guess we all have different beliefs depending upon our ability to understand and process the information and data in which we are encoding that helps us to make an assessment of what we actually see. I mean, when you think about life at large and you think about how you're born and subsequently later thereafter you end up dying. Some people die at 80, 90, 100 years old, but ultimately everyone perishes. No one continues to live a productive life because at birth you find your happiness from a child all the way up until you start coming across different types of infirmities or disappointments or disagreements in life. And as a result, the stress sets in and you don't have the power to fight like you were capable of fighting when you were younger at 20 plus, 25, etc., 28. But what we must begin to understand is, why is this occurring? What is actually going on? Why do we lack the power to fight as we get older? And while we're younger, we just don't have the developed mind to understand that we didn't understand. So as a result, we do foolish things as we grow older. It's very difficult to learn from your mistakes because you never experienced those learnings to learn from your mistakes. In other words, you never experienced something to teach you. You might find an elderly person that might be able to say, when I was your age, I did this, so you need to be careful about that. That makes sense. That sounds very plausible when you listen to those that have been there and been through it. But unfortunately, at that level of mind, you're not willing to listen because you just don't see what they see. In other words, you're vulnerable. You're just out there living carefree. And when you get older, you wish you would have listened. And that's normally the case throughout. Everyone's continuously wishing they would have, but subsequently the end result is it was too late. And as a result, the circumstances now presented itself. Now they're in prison, they're in a nursing home, or that they've done something that they shouldn't have done. And if they would have listened, they wouldn't have been in the position in which they're in. But if you think about what I'm trying to get you to convey, in other words, if a person come up to you and tell you something that you should pay close attention to, there's a strong possibility that before you're able to grasp what you need to grasp, you already became older because your mind is moving very slow. It's just like me trying to tell you something and you got a AA battery to process what I'm trying to tell you. I'm a nuclear power plant, so I'm telling you something, but your mind is a AA battery. So it's going to take you forever to understand what I'm saying. And the time in which you do understand it, it's too late because you've now reached a certain age to where you lost the power. So as a result, even if you wish you would have listened, it's too late now because you have not the mind to bring that into fruition. So as a result, everything continued to remain the same. Born, death, born, death. But what happens if we come to the realization that everything that we've been taught and learned since being on the face of this earth has been wrong? In other words, we never reached enough power to recognize and acknowledge the fact that we were going the wrong way. In other words, when you're born, you die. What happens if you're born and you go the opposite direction in which you're traveling? And as a result, you're going towards negative 273.15 Celsius, which is absolute zero minus friction and heat. And that will allow you to literally see the world totally different, with a different perspective. The question is that plausible? If that's plausible, everything that we built in this world is a lie. Everything from cars, trains, planes, to houses, to marriages, to children, etc. It's not that the children are wrong. It's just that unfortunately, we've never reached the level to be able to feed our children what they needed to be fed in order to know what they need to know. And as a result, the children continue to follow the same trajectory of those that led them. Is that possible? Is that possible that we were trapped in a gravitational field and our neurons and synapses weren't able to process beyond the box in which we dwelled? We couldn't get the information outside the box. So we stayed within the box, and as a result, we didn't get enough information to know there was more to know. So subsequently, within the box became our home. And as a result, we accepted the things within the box, and we formulated false doctrine, false religion, because you had not the data, not the information to get you to understand that you were following fables and stories which seared your conscience. It seared it just like a hot iron. I want to believe that that's exactly what's going on. Many of you might not understand nor receive what I'm saying, and the reason being, I think it's comparable to someone that has the ability to extrapolate a level in which most people lack the ability to extrapolate, and they're literally looking at the world through the glass darkly, but they don't know it because they have not the processing power to make an assessment of what they're doing. I want to believe that we all can change our perception of reality if we strengthen in mind. We must strengthen our prefrontal cortex, hippocampus, amygdala, whatever they named it. We must strengthen down to the molecular subatomic level. And as a result, we would start seeing things that we never saw before. It's just like a new creation. We would begin to see the world different. It might be a little shocking initially because this is something you've never been exposed to. Of course, it's going to be shocking. However, you must stay the course and understand the course in which you've been on. That wide gate to lead to destruction is not working. Everyone that was born on the face of this earth from the beginning are no longer here. And those of us that are here are on that path towards destruction. We must reverse the laws of thermodynamics. Entropy must be decreased, not increased. Entropy must be decreased. And as a result of decreasing entropy, the more entropy you decrease, the more you will be able to see the world as it truly is. And minus all entropy, you will create a vacuum. And as a result, you will see a different reality. And as a result, you will now live for the first time. I just want to come out here and just to say that we must not get comfortable in hell on earth because you're living in darkness. However, you have the ability to produce the light. However, you must work tirelessly, unwaveringly to get to a point where you now understand that you never understood. And once that happened, you will reach the highest mountain. And when you reach that mountain, your light would automatically turn on. May God bless you all and get you to understand. We must bring change into this dark world. And that change must come with a developed mind. God bless.